This is a love letter dedicated to an atomic habit. Because who knew that this one thing, adding no more than 10 minutes to one's day, could bring down electricity costs, can up your step counter, and can keep you hydrated? This is a Basta sa Bahay episode and a love letter to the atomic habit of filling your day's worth of water in insulated water bottles. Really just 2 points on the why. First, that drinking water is great. And second, you really don't want to be constantly opening your refrigerator. First, the US National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine recommend 2.7 liters of water for women and 3.7 liters for men daily. There are many articles out there about the studied effects of drinking water, but let me highlight those I like the most. I love that first glass of water in the morning. It becomes my body's signal to really start my day. And that slight headache you have in the morning is often dehydration that can easily be solved by a glass of water. I experience what they say, that sometimes you may not be hungry as much as thirsty. A glass of water at the start of the meal often stops my binge habits. I also notice that my bowel movement is much easier when I'm close to the recommended liters of water per day. Again, never force a bowel movement. And finally, physiologically, sweating is healthy. It's another discussion if oversweating is psychosomatic, of course. But I just noticed that on days I don't drink as much, I'm more oily and feel dirtier. It's when I sweat that I feel like my body temperature is controlled better. Second is just a reiteration that when stable, a refrigerator doesn't actually need that much energy to keep cool. Refrigerators nowadays are made very well as insulators. This means that they can maintain a cool temperature just by how they're made. Basically, a foam that acts as a barrier, stopping temperature transfer between the cool inside and the possibly hotter outside. This means that when the target temperature is achieved inside, there's not much to do to keep it cool. What costs a lot of electricity are when changes happen. For example, opening a ref causes cold air to move down and out. This is then replaced by warmer air outside, and that has to be cooled again. Putting in foods and liquids that are warmer also introduces a big change. It takes a lot of energy to bring down the temperature of these foods and liquids to the target temperature of the fridge. In these cases, that sound you hear is the compressor and other parts of the ref working harder and using more electricity to bring down its internal temperature. A lot of assumptions here, but if it takes around an hour to bring down the temperature, due to a lot of hot air coming in or a lot of food or liquids being placed, and we assume the compressor works 2 times as hard, we are looking at maybe an additional 2 pesos every time you open that fridge, using inverter technology estimates. 5 unnecessary times this is done daily sums to around 1,825 pesos yearly. One of the worst offenders, that's taking out an already cooled glass or plastic pitcher of water, pouring out some of it, leaving it out, and then putting it back in again. Remember, you have to cool it once more. And this is where the use of insulated water bottles comes in. And for how long my why is, the how is really short and simple. Invest in 1 or 2 of those big insulated water bottles. You're looking at spending around 1,295 pesos for a 2-liter bottle. I would stay away from the more expensive brands because the technology to manufacture these bottles is widespread already. They keep water cold for about 24 hours. Warm liquids stay close to initial temperatures for 12 hours. You can feel them as slightly heavier than their plastic counterparts. My routine is simple. Once I wake up, I take out all the plastic pitchers of water I need to fill up 2 of these insulated water bottles. Do not cool water in these insulated water bottles by putting them in the fridge, as the insulation works both ways. It's very hard for the ref air to cool the water inside these bottles. Anyway, I then refill the pitchers of water and I put them back in the ref. And here's the key part. I place the bottles a few steps away from where I usually work. I have mine in the living room. Whenever I need a glass of water, I have to walk to the living room, and then I take water from the insulated water bottles. First, it forces me to get up and stretch, as we always should when working. Second, it saves me from opening the ref at least 7 times because these last me the whole day. Finally, it's also a challenge. There's a mental pressure that you have to finish all of that water bottle. And just like that, you save electricity, get in some good steps and stretching, and force yourself to hit your required amount of water. A simple but quite impactful routine. This has been Basta sa Bahay. We post everything to do with living a good life in a good house and within a budget at that. Don't forget to click the button to subscribe as we have a lot we want to share with you.